still in book 6.1b, and now we're going to solve equations with fractions, which we really don't want to do. So our first always get rid of the fractions, unless it's something easy like this, where I can just use my calculator to help me. Okay, so I have something like this. Add this to both sides, and it gets rid of it, and I use my calculator to solve it. So let's do an example like this one here. Okay, let's look at example 1. If I have a question that looks like this, I'm just going to make one up from my head. X minus 5 equals, I don't know, 4. So if I want to solve this question, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That's gone. And I have x equals 9. Okay, it's the same as this question. And instead of, so here, x wants to be alone, so I'm just going to add, that's the opposite, here it's subtract, so add 1 over 4 to this side. 1 over 4 subtract 1 over 4, 0. So then I just have x on this side, and this, I just use my calculator. 3 over 8 plus 1 over 4. Oh, that's 5 over 8. So I just use my calculator for that part. Like this, we can just use our calculators to help us. But once it starts getting complicated like this, then we go, get rid of the fractions. Okay? So whenever we have a fraction on the bottom, we're going to use whatever this number is. Say it's 2. We're going to use 2 over 2, and we're going to use 1. Because that's how we can get rid of fractions, is by doing the same over same thing. So this says by 2. All of this. So what I can do is I can put brackets around this and say all of this divided by 2. I have the bottom of the fraction, so I have to put the top on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this line a little and put the 2. That's the top of the fraction on. So now I have 2 over 2. But if I times this side by 2, I have to times this side by 2. What's 2 divided by 2? 1, right? So this here is 1. So now my fraction's gone. I'm only left with this. 3x plus 5 equals 7 times 2 is 14. Look, my fraction's gone. And now it's just a normal question, and I can solve it. So cut it into the left and right. X needs to be by itself, so get rid of the 3 and the 5. We get rid of the 5 first because he's far away like the neighbor. Opposite. Same to both sides. So I have 3x equals 14 minus 5 equals 9. So that's 9. So now I want to get the x by itself, so get rid of the 3. So same over same. That's 1. So I have 1x equals 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So that's 3. So x equals 3. Okay. So let's do this one. I have a fraction. Let's get rid of the fraction. Okay. So it's a 2. So I'm going to use 2 over 2 equals 1. Whatever number that is, I'm going to use. All right. So I'm going to extend the line and put a 2 here. That's a multiply when you do it on the top. Because I already had the bottom, and I just need to put the top on. But if I multiply this side by 2, I have to multiply this side by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1 times 7x is 7x. So I just have 7x. 2 times 28 is 56. So now I want to get x by itself, so I have to get rid of the 7. I'm going to make a fraction. 7 over 7 equals 1. I have the top. I need to put the bottom on. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so that's really 1x. And 56 divided by 7 is 8. So x equals 8, because 1 can hide. Okay, let's turn the page. All right. Ooh, now we have lots of fractions. So when we have lots of fractions, we want to multiply every term. How many terms do we have? 1, 2, 3. We want to multiply every term by the same number that makes the fractions just go away. And how do we find what number? Well, we can't just think of it. We actually have to do some work to do it. So what we do is, what numbers do we want to go away? 3, 4, and 2, because those are the fractions on the bottom. So we're going to use these numbers to multiply them together. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So that's 24. So you just take the denominators of the fractions, 3, 4, and 2, multiply them together to get 24. Now you're going to multiply every term by 24. This term, and this term. So let's erase those circles. So times 24, times 24, times 24. There's not enough room there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this over here so you can see it better. 2 over 3 times 24. 3 over 4 times 24. And 1 over 2 times 24. Well, half of 24 is 12. That just says half of 24. Okay, let's do the rest. 2 over 3 times 24. So that's 16. 3 over 4 times 24. That's 18. Okay, so this, when I put that in my calculator, it's equal to 16, but there's an x there. So that's 16x minus 3 times 4, 3 over 4 divided by 24, that's 18. And that's equal to half of 24 was 12. Now it's a normal looking equation. I got rid of the fractions. So all you have to do when you have fractions is the numbers that you want to go away, the ones on the bottom, the denominators, just multiply them together and multiply every fraction by that. So now you can just solve it like normal. So let's go to the next. You solve it by yourself, okay? I'm just going to help you with the beginning because it's the beginning that's the new step. So we have 3 terms here, 1, 2, 3. They all have fractions. So the first step is, what numbers do you want to go away? The ones on the bottom. So I'm going to take those 3 numbers and go 4 times 3 times 6 equals, I don't know, 4 times 3 times 6, not plus, times. 4 times 3 times 6, 72. Okay, so I'm going to multiply each term by 72. So times 72, times 72, times 72. So there's not very much space, so I'm going to write it over here. So 3 over 4 times 72, 2 over 3 times 72, 5 over 6 times 72. So let's use our calculator. So 3 over 4 times 72, 54. 2 over 3 times 72, 48. 5 over 6 times 72, 60. Okay. So this has an x, so I have to go, this is 54x minus this one was this one, which is 48, equals, and this we did here was 60. Now it's just a normal looking equation that we can solve. We got rid of the fractions. Okay. So you have to finish solving it for homework, okay? And but let's start with the next one. Okay. So 3 is the same, so let's do 4. Well, let's not do 4 because 4 is the same. 5 is a little different. Because look, this one is not a fraction. Well, can I make it a fraction so it looks the same? How do I make 4 a fraction? If I just have 4, I can go over 1. That's a fraction, so let's just do over 1. Okay. So, what numbers do I want to get rid of? The 2, 1, and the 3. So I go 2 times 1 times 3. That's 6. So I have to multiply each term by 6. This term, and this term. So times 6, times 6, times 6. So, what number's in front of the x? 1. So that's really 1/2 times 6. And that's 4 over 1 times 6, 1 over 3 times 6. So half of 6 is 3. 4 times 6 is 24. So this is 24. 1/3 of 6. That's like if I cut 6 into 3 pieces. How much is it? So 1 over 3 times 6. That's 2. Okay. So this has an x. So this one is 3x plus. This has an x. So 4 times 6 is 24. So that's 24x equals 1/3 of x. 1/3 of 6. 1/3 of 6 is 2. Okay. If I cut that into the left side and the right side, oh look, we can make this more simple before we start to solve it. 24 plus 3, those are like terms because they both have x's. So that's really 27x equals 2. Let's just finish this one. X wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 27. That's 1. So I have 1x equals 2 over 27. So x equals 2 over 27. That looks horrible. Who's your teacher? Who makes these questions? Let's just look at the answers. The answers are at the very bottom on the last page. And if you look at the answers, almost all of them are fractions. So we just did 5, which was 2 over 27. Okay, so we were correct, but see how they're mostly fractions? So don't be worried if you get a weird fraction. I've made them to be fractional answers. Okay, so this one's the same. You want to just multiply these together first. Okay, and then whatever number that is, multiply each one. And then you won't have a horrible equation like this. You'll have something that looks normal. Okay, let's go to the next page. Oops. Okay, next page. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this because it's hard to see how many terms we have here. This is really 3 over 4 times something. I don't care what's in that, equals 2 over 3 times something. So really there's only 2 terms. They're just really big terms, okay? So in order to get rid of these fractions, I want to get rid of the 3 and the 4, so I'm going to multiply that together. 3 times 4 equals 12. So I have to multiply each term by 12. But I just have 2 terms, this one and this one, see? Doesn't matter what's inside those brackets. Don't try and think that this is 2 terms, okay? It's not, because terms have to be separated by add and subtract. And here there's a multiply, so it's just this multiply this. There's no add and subtract separating these numbers, okay? You can see it here, but just ignore what's inside of the brackets, okay? So I have to multiply these fractions, these 2 terms, by 12. So times 12 times 12. So let's do the work down here. 3 over 4 times 12 and 2 over 3 times 12. Let's use our calculator. 3 over 4 times 12, 9. And then 2 over 3 times 12, 8. Okay, so this here is 9. So I have 9, and then I have this bracket stuff that I don't really care about yet. And then 2/3 times 12 is 8. Okay, so see, we got rid of the fractions. So can I do inside the brackets? X minus 5? Nah, I could if this had an X, but they're not like terms. Same here. This 4 doesn't have an X, so I can't add and subtract this stuff. So that means I have to multiply this 9 and distribute it to everything that's inside the brackets. And here, there's a times here, so it says 8 times everything in the bracket. So distribute it out to everything inside the brackets. So that's 9 times x and 9 times negative 5. And then here it's 8 times 3x and 8 times negative 4. Okay, so now that's 9x negative 45, 24x minus 32. So 9 times x is 9x. That's 9 times 5 minus 45. 8 times 3x is 24x. 8 times a negative 4 is negative 32. So what we did is, first step, we get rid of the fractions. Second step, simplify it so it makes it look nicer so we can start to solve. Now when it looks like this, we can start to solve it just like we did normally. Okay, so let's do another question. So you solve this on your own, okay, and then check your answer with the solutions at the back of the book. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do 10. Okay, so this is one term and this is one term. So I have two fractions to get rid of. So I have to go, I want to get rid of the 3 and the 4. So I'm going to multiply those together. 12. So that means I have to multiply each term by 12. So I'm going to go times 12 times 12. So 2/3 times 12 and 3/4 times 12. Let's use our calculators to find that. 2 over 3 times 12 is 8, and 3 over 4 times 12 is 9. So 2 over 3 times 12, this right here, that's equal to 8. And then I still have the stuff in the brackets. And this here is equal to 9. So that's 9, and I still have the stuff in the brackets. Okay. So now, BEDMAS says I have to do inside the brackets first. So let's check. Can I do it? X minus 7? No, because this 7 doesn't have an x, so they're not like terms. So let's check the other one. Can I do 4x minus 5? Nope, because the 5 doesn't have an x, so they're not like terms. So I can't do inside the brackets. I don't have any exponents. I have divide and multiply, maybe. I don't see any, but I know that here it's 8 times everything in the bracket, 9 times everything in the bracket. So I have to distribute it. Okay. So here it's 8 times x, 8 times negative 7. And then here it's 9 times 4x and 9 times negative 5. Okay, so that's 8x negative 56, 36x minus 45. So 8 times x is 8x, 8 times negative 7 is negative 56, 9 times 4x is 36x, 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. And now you can just solve it like normal. because we got rid of the fractions. We simplified this by distributing out this number that's in front of the brackets. And now it's just a normal looking equation, and now you can start to solve it just like we did before. Okay, let's look at some more questions. 12 looks a little different. Okay, so let's look at 12. We can do 12 two different ways. Okay, so I'm going to show you both ways, and then you choose what you like. Okay, all right. So I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, let me move this over a bit. So x plus 4 over 12. I'm going to move this 12 just this way. So I can go x plus 4 and put the 12 here. Okay, that's the same thing. I'm just moving it over. It says all of this divide by 12. So I can put a bracket like that. All of this divide by 12. It's still the same thing. And I can say that there's really a 1 hiding up here. 1 times this, because it doesn't change anything. Okay, and then I can actually separate this fraction and write it like this. So this is exactly the same as this. That 12 is on the bottom, that 12 is on the bottom here. So I can rewrite this side to be like this, so it looks like what we did before. So here I have 1 over 6, and I'll write it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the question when it looks like this, and I'm going to do the question if it looks like this. Because then you can see it's the same thing. Okay? So I have to get rid of the fractions, the 6 and the 12. So all I do, I'll do it here. 6 times 12 equals 72. That's my first step. So I have to multiply both fractions by 12. So if I put 12 here like that, it looks funny. So what I'm going to do is I have to say all of this divide by 12. So I'm going to put brackets around it, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to extend the line just a bit. 12 divided by 12 is? Oh no, it's not 12. It's supposed to be 72. Oops, put a 7 there. Change it to a 7. Okay. Now here I have to multiply both fractions by 72. Okay. So now I have 1 over 6 times 72. And then here I have 72 over 12. Okay, let's do it. So 1 over 6 times 72, that's equal to 12. And 72 divided by 12, 72 divided by 12, that's equal to 6. So here, this part here is equal to 12. And this part here is equal to 6. So I can put the 6 on the front or the back of this. It doesn't matter. So let's put it on the front. Okay. Because this is a 72. Divide by 12. It's 6. So I have to put it somewhere. So I just put it there. Here, 1 over 6 times 72, that's 12. So that's a 12 because we did that the same as over there. And 1 over 12 times 72, 6. It's the same. So here, I'm just going to put 6 in the front. So you can see I can leave it like this and just put brackets around the top, or I can bring that 12 out and make the fraction 1 over 12, but I have to put brackets around both of them. So both times I have to put these brackets, okay? It doesn't matter if you like it this way or if you like it this way. They're both the same question. It's just writing it differently. Okay, so I'll finish it here because they're exactly the same now. So first, because BEDMAS tells us can't see my BEDMAS. BEDMAS tells us to do inside the brackets first, so we always check. This doesn't have an X, so these are not like terms, so I can't do in there. This doesn't have an X, I can't do that either. So I can't do inside the brackets. There's no exponents. Divide and multiply. I have a multiply right there. So I have to, this says 12 times everything in the bracket, so I have to distribute it to everything in the brackets. 6 times everything in the brackets, so I multiply the 6, I distribute it out. So let's do the first one. 12 times 7x, 12 times negative 4. 6 times x, 6 times positive 4. So that would be 84x, negative 48, 6x, and positive 24. So 12 times 7x is 84x, minus 12 times 4 is 48. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 4 is 24. Now it looks normal. Now you can finish solving it. Okay, because now it looks like a normal equation. Step 1, get rid of the fractions, because nobody wants to solve this question with fractions. It's just so difficult. Then we use BEDMAS to make it more simple. We're going to simplify it. And once we simplify it, it's going to look like a normal equation that we can solve easily. Okay, so that was number 12. Let's see, what else should we do? Well, this one is, the number 14 is the same. Let's see, do I have a back? So I think you should be okay finishing everything. Okay, so make sure you check your answers. All the answers are here at the bottom. Okay, so when you finish, check your answers to make sure you have it correct. Okay.